palm flat on that tabletop!
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Quentin Tarantino villains. For this list, we'll be looking at the best antagonists and other despicable characters from the filmography of director Quentin Tarantino. To be clear, we won't be including any real people who may appear in his films. If there's a Tarantino villain you love being stuck in the middle with that our list is somehow stuck without, let us know in the comments. Number 10. El Driver, Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. Codenamed California Mountain Snake, El Driver is a kind of dark mirror to protagonist Beatrix Kiddo.
Sounds like we got a deal. One condition.
What?
She must suffer to her last breath.
While Beatrix tried to leave the twisted Bill and a life as a killer behind, this Viper has an unhealthy devotion to both. Elle also has no qualms about using poison and underhanded tactics against her enemies.
I'm sorry, Bud. That was rude of me, wasn't it? Bud, I'd like to introduce my friend, the Black Mamba.
Although she respects Beatrix for her skill, that's the extent of her good qualities. Elle's sadistic nature and the underhanded way she slew Beatrix's master make her a fun villain to hate. Additionally, her eye patch sporting look is striking and memorable. Since it isn't confirmed that she died after her battle with Beatrix, our excitement if she made a return in a Kill Bill sequel would be gargantuan.
Can I look at the sword?
That's my money right there in that red bag, isn't it?
It sure is.
Well then, it's your sword now.
Number 9. Zed, Pulp Fiction.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
And thank goodness for that. This guy might be one of the most reprehensible characters Tarantino has ever created. After Marcellus Wallace and Butch Coolidge are captured by a pawn shop owner, Zed arrives to make things worse. The new antagonist casually lets the men know that he plans to severely mistreat them. Zed also makes it clear that he's done twisted things to men in that basement before.
Well, bring out the gimp. I think the gimp's sleeping. Well, I guess you just have to go wake him up now, won't you?
The villain's nonchalant attitude about the entire situation made him seem especially depraved. Fortunately, Butch is able to break free and save Marcellus from being further tormented by the villain. Although Zed isn't around long, it was still satisfying to hear he would face brutal consequences for his actions.
You want to do it in here? No, let's take you back there to wrestle it up, man. Sounds good to me.
Number 8. Daisy Domergue, The Hateful Eight. When we're first introduced to Daisy Domergue, we learn that she's a notorious outlaw. She's been captured by bounty hunter John Ruth and has been sentenced to death.
You never heard of her, huh?
Shoulda?
Well, she ain't no John Wilkes Booth, but maybe you might heard tell about the price on her head.
It seems like her fate is sealed by the time she and several others take refuge in a stagecoach station during a blizzard. However, members of her old gang are there lying in wait. Before and after Daisy's plan comes to fruition, it's clear that she's a vicious outlaw.
So you taking me on the Red Rock, huh?
You bet.
You gonna wait around and watch it?
Oh, you know I am. I want to hear her neck snap with my own 2 ears.
The amount of glee she showed about Ruth's death was particularly unsettling. Daisy's chaotic scheming made her one of the most cunning and unstable Tarantino villains to date. It's certainly satisfying to see her dance at the film's end, even if we personally prefer her singing.
For life, Jim Jones, I sentence you across the stormy sea.
Number 7. Steven, Django Unchained. Steven was an enslaved person who tried to attain as much power as he could on the plantation nicknamed Candyland.
Django, this is another cheeky black bugger like yourself, Steven. Steven, this here's Django. You two ought to hate each other.
He usually gained advantage by selling out other disenfranchised black people. So although Steven pretends to be a feeble and subservient old man in public, it's clear that he's a shrewd and sharp piece of work in private.
But he's just about to buy who he come here to buy when I interrupted him. Thank you, Stephen. You're welcome, Calvin.
His worst on-screen crime came when he ruined a deal that would have allowed Django to rescue his wife, Broomhilda, without incident. Thanks to Steven's words, she's tormented, a good man ends up dead, and Django is nearly enslaved again. This morally bankrupt villain also took pleasure in describing what punishments awaited the hero. Steven's choices were so consistently bad that he definitely earned his explosive end.
Django! You uppity son of a...
Number 6. Stuntman Mike, Death Proof. Within Tarantino's gallery of odd psychopaths, Stuntman Mike stands out as one of the most unique antagonists.
Since you're going the other way,
I'm afraid you're gonna have to start getting scared immediately.
He likes to follow and dispatch young women with a very particular weapon, his car. Kurt Russell's brilliant performance ensured stuntman Mike came off as simultaneously evil and charming at once.
You saw my car, I saw your legs. Now look, I ain't stalking y'all, but I didn't say I wasn't a wolf.
Although he seems to be a decent guy, his victims only see his sinister side when it's far too late. Stuntman Mike's death-proof vehicle protects him and ensures gruesome fates for the ladies he targets. He's unstoppable until he messes with the wrong group of women. As Stuntman Mike gets some sweet comeuppance, we can't help but think about the wild ride he took us on.
Hey! Ladies! That was fun!
Number 5. O-Ren Ishii, Kill Bill Volume 1. After O-Ren Ishii worked as a Deadly Viper, she became a brutal Yakuza boss.
あんたも少し力が残ってるといいけどね。でなきゃ5分と身が持たないよ。
Throughout the film, we delve deep into her tragic and horrifying backstory. O-Ren Ishii had to watch her parents die and face racial prejudice before she ascended to her position in Japan's underworld. Anyone who dishonored her accomplishments had to be prepared to feel the sting of her sword.
You may not be able to fight like a samurai, but you can at least die like a samurai.
Unfortunately for O-Ren, part of her rich backstory involved attacking Beatrix on her wedding day. Although the villain basically commanded an incredible army, they couldn't protect her from the bride. O-Ren's layered past and violent skills would have made her a good protagonist of a Yakuza flick. But without her, the first Kill Bill wouldn't have been nearly as cool. Number 4. Vic Vega, aka Mr. Blonde, Reservoir Dogs. Almost every member of the whole crew of color-coded criminals in Reservoir Dogs is a bad guy.
How would you feel about pulling a job with about 5 other guys?
I'd feel great about it.
But Vic Vega, aka Mr. Blonde, is so evil that he even makes the others squeamish. Toothpick Vic is responsible for the shootout at a robbery that leads to the death of a few of his allies. And while he appears calm and collected at their hideout, Blondie unveils his vicious and sadistic side when he brutally torments a cop the gang has captured.
I got something outside that I'd like to show you guys, so follow me. Follow you? Where? To my car.
The infamous scene where Mr. Blonde dances while giving the officer a permanent injury is the stuff of nightmares. While standing out in a crew of criminals might seem difficult, Mr. Blonde made it look easy.
Psychopath ain't a professional. Can't work with a psychopath.
Number 3. Bill, Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. The villain of Tarantino's 2-part assassin tale definitely lives up to his reputation.
She's coming to kill you. And unless you accept my assistance, I have no doubt she will succeed.
Serving as the leader of the Deadly Viper assassination squad, this cold-blooded killer demands respect. Although Bill is off-screen in the first film, he manipulates people from afar so much that we constantly feel his oppressive presence looming large. After spending a full movie making him seem like a complete monster, Volume 2 reveals that he's also surprisingly human.
Oh, and for the record, letting somebody think somebody they love is dead when they're not is quite cruel.
Bill genuinely loved Beatrix and even has a sweet relationship with their young daughter. However, his unforgivable crimes against Beatrix and many others meant that he had to go down. Bill's charismatic nature and incredible speeches made him compelling to watch, up until he spoke his last word.
How'd I look?
Number 2. Calvin Candy, Django Unchained. Just knowing that Calvin Candy routinely enslaved people would be enough to make him hateable.
Mogi tells me you looked over my African flesh and you was none too impressed, huh?
Not for top dollar.
Well, then we got nothing more to talk about.
But this villain goes the extra mile to show he's truly detestable. Candy watches enslaved people fight for his entertainment and makes someone suffer an unspeakably horrendous death. Despite his terrible actions, Leonardo DiCaprio's performance as the villain is so magnetic that it's impossible to look away whenever the character's on screen.
To the man with the exceptional beard.
He easily commands a room once he walks in. Additionally, Candy's monologues are truly intimidating and terrifying. His gestures alone have become so iconic that they've been the subject of a million memes. Candy is a villain that audiences absolutely love to hate.
You really want me to shake your hand? I insist.
Before we continue, Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Hans Landa, Inglourious Basterds. Hans Landa is often hailed as one of the best villains for good reason.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
This German officer has made it his mission to subject every Jewish person he finds to a terrible fate. And since Landa is a man of terrifying intelligence, he's been able to find a lot of victims during his career. As soon as he starts questioning someone, we instantly get nervous.
Wo genau in Paris ist dieser Berg? Nein. Ich mach doch nur Scherze. Gnädiges Fräulein, Sie kennen mich doch. Meine Scherze sind ein bisschen grob.
Christoph Waltz earned an Oscar by making Landa seem quirky and witty right up until the moment he reminds us how cruel he is. By the end of the film, it's debatable whether the villain's punished enough for his crimes, but he definitely deserves the title of the greatest Tarantino villain.
What's up, you bitch? I think this just might be my masterpiece.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.